Dear friends, welcome to this video on horizontal reservation. I have already created one video on horizontal and vertical reservation, explaining the difference between the two. Now in this video, we will move one step ahead. And in this video, I'll be explaining to you the method of giving horizontal reservation. So let us talk about the method of providing horizontal reservation. Now, this has been explained and guided by the Honorable Supreme Court of India in a famous case of Rajesh Kumar Daria. I'll be giving the citations of all these cases that I'll be referring to sometime later. Maybe not in this video, but in some other video. But be with me right now. You will understand whatever I'm explaining if you are with me. So, the first step in providing horizontal reservation is to first create a merit list of all the candidates strictly according to their merit. Now you see, in the recruitment process, they must have filtered the candidates either on the basis of some written examination, or maybe on the basis of interview, or maybe on the basis of both. So adopting some criteria, marks must have been allotted. Now that's the usual method. Either a written examination or an interview or maybe both. Marks are allotted to the candidate to assess their merit. So the first step is to prepare a merit list of all the candidates irrespective of their caste, religion, or whatever, strictly on the basis of their marks in descending order of merit. ठीक है ना? मतलब उसकी कास्ट कुछ भी रहे, उसका रिलीजन कुछ भी रहे, उसके दूसरे क्राइटेरिया वेदर मेल, फीमेल, whatever, every candidate's marks should be seen and the merit list must reflect marks strictly according to merit in a descending order. That's the master merit list, I would say. A master merit list has to be first created. Okay. The next step is to create backward class category wise merit lists. Right. Now, there are backward categories like SC, ST, OBC, VJNT. So, the candidates are to be segregated into their respective merit lists of social reserved category. That means vertically reserved category. So, separate merit lists will be there. And there will, of course, be a separate merit list of open category. Now here the important thing to bear in mind is that, as explained by Supreme Court, there is nothing like a reservation for open general category. I am talking of open general, not open reserved. I mean, there can be a horizontally reserved open category. I am not talking of that right now. I am talking only of open general category. So within the open general category, as explained by courts, fall all candidates belonging to any category, irrespective of their caste, religion, race, gender, if they are finding a place on the basis of their competence in the open general category. Right. So in the merit list of open category would fall all such candidates purely on the basis of their merit. So now in the second step, we find that separate category-wise merit lists are prepared. And the principle of putting even the backward category candidates on the basis of their topmost marks in the open category is also followed. Now, why this principle is required to be followed is because the Supreme Court has, in many cases, including the famous leading case of Indra Sahni, clarified that a candidate belonging to backward category can always find a place in the open category on the basis of his or her own merit. If he has those number of marks are such that he or she can compete with open category candidates, then he or she can always find a place in the open category. And of course, not vice versa. An open category candidate cannot be put in a reserved category like OBC, SC, ST. He has to be in open category only. So by following this principle of migration of reserved category candidates into open category on the basis of their merit, according to the principles evolved in the case of Indra Sahni, the merit list of open category is prepared and the separate merit lists of backward class categories are also prepared. Now, needless to say that the merit lists of all these backward class categories has also to be prepared strictly in accordance with merit in descending order. Right. So in the second step, what we get is separate category-wise merit lists. The second step would ensure that vertical reservation is implemented, is fulfilled. Now something remains to be done with regard to horizontal reservation. That would be the next step. And after that would be the step of finalizing the select list. Right? Okay. So the third step would be with regard to horizontal reservation. And that's the topic of our video today. So for understanding how horizontal reservation is to be provided, what is the methodology of doing that? All such things need to be also understood. Otherwise, things will not fall into place and you will not properly understand it. Okay. So in the third step, what the employer has before him are the separate merit lists of each category, vertically reserved category. Now what he would do is, he would check if within the social reservation, the reservation for horizontal quota automatically stands fulfilled or not. For example, if the employer begins with, rather I would suggest that the employer should begin with open category list. Now if the employer begins with open category list, and let us assume that the total number of seats for open category are 18, and out of the 18 seats, 5 seats are reserved horizontally for females, open females. The employer would first check whether within the first 18, 5 females or 5 women automatically find place or not. If he finds that yes, 5 females have already found place within that 18, that means the reservation for women, 5 seats, automatically already stands fulfilled. And the employer need not do anything with regard to that. The horizontal reservation for females stand fulfilled. But if he finds that now we are taking both the situations. If the employer finds that the number of females in the open category are more than horizontally reserved candidates, And if they are less, then what the employer will do? Now take a case if the employer finds that the number of females who have secured position in the open category are more than horizontally reserved females. For example, 6 females find place in the open merit list instead of 5. So one more. What shall the employer do? The employer again has to do nothing, because that 6th female who is in excess of horizontal reservation is there because of her own competence, own merit. She has found a place there, though not within the horizontal reservation of open female candidates. The 6th candidate belonging to female category is only and solely there on the basis of her own merit. So let her be there. This would not mean that the quota for horizontally reserved female candidates has exceeded. Nothing like that. You getting me? If you are getting confused, please pause this video, go back and watch it again. I have clarified it already. But suppose if the number of females finding place in the open merit list of 18 is less than that which is reserved for horizontal quota of women. For example, the number of females who have found place in the open merit list is only 3. That means 2 females are still not there. So what the employer will do? Employer has to do something here. It's very important. Employer has to fulfill that quota for horizontal women by putting 2 women candidates into the vacancies of horizontal women quota. How will he do that? Now he will check at the bottom of the list. After 18, he will check if there is any other woman belonging to open category who have secured topmost marks, in the sense though those marks will be lower than those 3 females who have secured a place in the open merit list, but the marks of the females who are at the bottom of the list after 18 will still be maximum number of marks than other female candidates in the entire list. So he will identify 2 females from the list further, 2 topmost females, irrespective of their, again, whatever category they belong to. And he will then put those 2 females into the 2 vacancies that are there for horizontally reserved female candidates. And at the same time, he will delete 2 candidates from the bottom of the list of 18 so as to make the whole number 18. In this way, all the 18 posts of open category will stand fulfilled. Now this was just an example of open female, but suppose if there can be horizontal reservation for sports persons within the open category. There can be horizontal reservation for, say, handicapped people. There can be a reservation for project affected persons. So whatever may be the horizontal reservation, the employer will have to adopt the same method. He will have to check in the same manner. Right? Then the employer will do the same thing with regard to the merit lists of other backward categories like SC, ST, OBC, VJ, NT. Same method. He will again take, for example, the merit list of scheduled caste categories. He will check whether the quota of women in scheduled caste category stands automatically fulfilled. If yes, he has to do nothing. If no, then he will take 2 women candidates belonging to scheduled caste from the bottom of the list and put them in the horizontally reserved quota so as to fulfill the entire reservation for horizontally reserved quota in SC category of females, and delete 2 candidates from the bottom of the list so as to make up the entire number of posts. That's how he will go list by list, and will fulfill both the vertical as well as horizontal reservation. Right? And that way, the lists of the stage of publishing final select lists of all the categories is reached. And that's the next step of publishing the final select lists. But before the employer publishes the final select list, there is something very, very, very important that he has to do with regard to ensuring that the horizontal reservation is properly done. And what is that the employer has to do? I will cover in the next video. So thank you for watching this video, and thank you for your patience. If you find anything confusing, please rewind this video and watch it again. Things will be very clear to you. Thanks once again and take care. Bye.